My name is Lisa Harris. I'll be teaching your class this morning, and I've probably met some of you in my classes. And unfortunately, this is not the way I like to teach. I prefer to be next to you, but in our times right now, we don't have much of a choice. If you have questions along the way, there should be a hand on the right side of your screen. You can click on the hand, and we can unmute you. Also, there should be a chat button where you can go ahead and type in any message, and Debbie Fajardo's with us. Most of you know her. She's Director of Training, and she will answer questions as we go along, or stop me in case I miss something or I need to show something again. But we will go ahead and let's get started with Cloud. So what we'll be doing is actually two different things for CMAs today. I'm going to take you through Paragon, doing a quick CMA, and then we're going to go ahead and do a Cloud CMA report also. So I'm going to start off in Paragon, and let's go ahead and pull comps. So we're going to go ahead and pull a property. I just went ahead and typed in one of my listings. You can type in any listing you would like to use. And the reason I'm putting it in here is just to pull square footage and some of the information on the property itself so I can pull good comps. So you can use this, you've got this search button at the top. Search works great, the power search. You can type in an address. You can type in an agent's name looking for their listing. So you should be able to find whatever you're looking for today. If it's not listed, you'll want to pull tax records to get as much information as possible too. And I usually double check with tax records also. So I just typed in my 37229 Castleton. And as you type it in, it should find the listing. This one closed a few months back, so you can go ahead and open that. And this is just a ranch in Sterling Heights. And it's just under 1,400 square feet, 3 bedrooms, basement, attached to a car garage. So pretty basic, older finished basement. So we're going to start off in search, top left corner here, and we're going to go to residential condo so we can pull our comps. I'm going to search residential condo, and I'm going to fill in my criteria. So it is residential. And if you haven't worked with Paragon much, these magnifiers on the right will give you your options. So if you're not sure how to fill something out, just click the magnifier and select it from there. We've got our active, sold, and pending. I prefer to show all of them. I'd like to see the competition in the area, what recently sold, and obviously what's pending too. Now you do see there are a couple things in here that we actually don't use yet. Accepting backup offers and keep showing contingency applied. This is because of our data sharing. So we do have areas that do use these statuses. We, at this point, do not use them. And this coming soon is going to be coming. So I've heard it's coming. I'm not sure how long. Deb, do you have any idea on this, when we'll be able to use the status?
Coming soon? No, we won't be using it, I'm pretty sure. We will allow it. We'll display it in our MLS. Same as accepting backup offers. ABO, we're not going to be using, but we will. Other MLSs use it. Coming soon. We're wavering on that one. We don't like it, and we really don't care. It's not at the top of the list right now.
Okay. Well, good. Thank you for explaining it. I haven't heard much more about it, so I wanted to make sure. Okay, so I did include my statuses and just hit save. Closing date, you have an option of obviously using your range. I like using the state range back here instead of putting the dates in. So I'm going to go 6 months back because we did have some good amount of activity for a few months there. I do want for sale properties. I'm going to skip through area and I'm going to go down to some more criteria for my property. So I want structure style. It is a ranch, so I'm going to do 1 story. Bedrooms, minimum 3. And basement, yes, it does have a basement. And I do want to put in there a minimum for a 2-car garage also. And square footage was about 1,400 square feet. I like to go 20% above and below. I know that's pretty basic for a lot of appraisers out there. So I'm going to go ahead and go about 1,100 square feet on this. And up to, we'll go 1,800, a little bit higher. Okay. So the reason I like to fill in my criteria first is because the last thing I want to do is my map. So when I open up my map, I'm seeing my results instead of seeing everything that's available. So if you go back to the very top, if you have not filled in all your criteria, it's not a problem. You can come back and finish it. But we're going to go up to where it says search by map. It should be like the 4th one down at the top. And you're going to select right in the box or the little globe here on the right. Either one will open up your map. Okay, so as your map opens, the first thing we want to do is relocate Tedx. So right now it's pointing out where my office location is. That's your default. But in the top center, it says center map and zoom on this address. I'm going to go ahead and type in my property address right there. So I've got 37229 Castleton. And I usually prefer to use the city just in case, because sometimes it takes you out of state if it finds it somewhere else. So I'm going to do Sterling Heights and just hit enter. And there it is. So it should put a flag on the location. So whatever address you're using, just make sure you type it up in here and hit enter, or there's actually a magnifier too. You can click on that. Either one will get you to your property address. And the idea of doing this is just so I can draw around my property and find homes that are within, a mile radius or so. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. And the next step is we're going to draw on our map. So I'm going to go to the left top screen here where it says draw. And because I've got kind of an odd shape over here, I'm going to go, because I want to hit 17 and over to Shaner, I'm going to use my Polygon tool. And with the Polygon, I can draw various lines. You don't have to use a Polygon. The rubber band works great too. It does create a box for you, a rectangle shape, something of that sort, and you should be able to catch, your area that you're looking for. But as I select draw, I'm going to select Polygon, and I'm actually going to click all around these streets where I want to start. So my beginning point is 16 Mile and Dodge Park. I'm going to click one. I'm going to move it over to 16 Shaner, click again. And every time you want to relocate your Polygon tool, you're going to actually click to have it go into a different direction. And that one clicked a little too fast. Change that. Let me get rid of that. It decided to complete my shape, and that's not what I wanted to do. So let's try this again. So 16 Dodge Park, over to 16 Shaner. I'm going to go up Shaner here, get around this area, over to 17 Mile, and take it back down a little bit over here to back to Dodge Park. And your beginning point is your end point. I'm going to go right back down to 16 in Dodge Park, click again, and it should create my shape. And as you can see now, it disappeared. So those are the properties that have matched the criteria that I already put in. So if you want to go ahead and get your shape on there, again, if you don't want to use the Polygon, just use the rubber band. It's 2 clicks, pretty simple. Click once, drag it diagonally, click again, and it creates your shape. And if you don't like the way your shape is, you can always modify it. There's an edit in the top left corner here. You can click on the shape. I'm going to get rid of that second one. I don't want to use that. But my first one here, I'm going to click on it. It turns it yellow. And every one of these white dots can actually readjust your shape. So I can drag it in, drag it out, and resize it or reshape it, whatever way you need. So, and this X, again, if you end up with too many shapes, click the X, it gets rid of it. Okay. If I'm too fast, or if I missed something, or if I didn't mention something that you're looking for answers, please, like I said, either put your hand up or send a chat message to Debbie, and I'll make sure we get it answered as we go. Okay, so I am now going to take a look at my results. If you need to go back and add more criteria, if you look at your tab here where it says residential condo, it now sub-tabs. So you've got a tab here that says criteria, one that's map search where I'm at right now, and then to run my search to see my results. I'm going to go back one step to criteria if anyone needs to still put in any more information. So click on criteria, finish typing in whatever else you need, and then we're going to go ahead and take a look at our results so we can select some for our comps. So I'm going to go ahead and hit search on mine. And again, I'll wait a minute here for everyone to get caught up. Okay, once you get to your results, now if I was doing a full-on CMA and I had the time to sit and go through these with you, I would be opening up each one of my listings and looking at photos, going through the photos, looking at remarks, and trying to compare it to my property. Because we only have an hour and we're already down to 45 minutes, I want to get through all of this and be able to show you everything today. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and select some of my listings that I want to use for my comps. If you're doing a real CMA that you need for a client, it's not a problem. We're going to create your CMA today, but I'm going to show you how to go back in and make adjustments. So then you can go back and add additional listings. You can remove some of the ones you put in there. So it's not a problem for you to make adjustments later. I'm going to go ahead and just select some of these. Let's take a look here what we've got. The ones that recently sold. I'm going to go ahead and just click on ones that I know from being in my listing. What's going to be a good one? I'm going to go up to these over here. Okay. I'm going to click some of my closed. Obviously, if you've got pending and actives, you might want to include those. So I've got a pending in here. I'm going to include that. And all you're doing is just check marking them on the left side of the listing. Here's my Castleton. This is actually the one that sold. We'll include it. We've got a few more here that are closed. There's an active. Active. And some of these are getting a little bit higher, so I don't want to include ones that are too high in price. I know they're not going to be good comps for my property. Okay, so just make sure you have them check marked, and then I'm going to show you the first thing is going to be our quick CMA. So what the quick CMA does is just gives you a couple of reports. You're not doing a full report like Cloud. Cloud's going to give you a bunch of papers you can put in there. There's all kinds of documents already pre-written for you. You can add in for information about, CMAs versus appraisal and information for your clients. The quick is just going to give you your comps, and it's going to show you your statistics. It's going to break down those numbers for you. This is great if you've got a listing, maybe you just want to do a price adjustment, or maybe you've got to do a BPO for a bank. They don't want to see a 50, 60-page report. This works really well with that also. So once you have them check marked on the left, we're going to go to the right side of our screen where it says reports and select reports. And you're going to go down to CMA. There's actually a folder that says CMA on it. So I just went to the right side of my screen. Everything's check marked. Go to CMA. And you've got three different things in here. You've got your CMA quick view. That's a side-by-side comparison of the properties you've selected. You have a CMA summary report. This is going to break down all your numbers for you. And then the spreadsheet is just showing the criteria that you've used to find your comps. I use these first two. Typically, I don't use my spreadsheet. So the first one, the CMA quick view, you're going to go ahead and select that.
Hey, Lisa.
And it's going to look, yes.
I had one quick question. Somebody wanted to know, actually it was Joy, wanted to know how many is a good amount of listings to click on?
Okay, great question. So I like to have a minimum of at least 3 closed properties, but if there's more that are good comparables, use them. And as many active as I can find, again, it's competition for them, so they know what's listed right now. And anything pending kind of gives me an idea of how many days it's been on market before it sold, if there's been any price adjustments and so forth. Hopefully that answers the question. Okay, so once it loads, you're going to see only the first 4. And the reason, because this has to add on additional pages, because I've got, the pages will only go as big as they'll print. So 4 show up on a page if you're printing this. But if you look here in the top right, I've got page 2 of 5, there's an arrow. So when you hit the arrow, it's actually going to load your next comp on there. So as you continue clicking those on, it will drop them on there for you. If you see on mine, I might have more information on what my quick view shows than what yours might, because I did customize it. So you can add in additional criteria or fields and show them anything that you feel is important for your client to see. In the top here where it says customize, go ahead and select customize fields. So again, this is going to allow you to add additional fields or remove fields that you don't want on there. So if there's things that you don't want to show up on this report, you can remove them. Everything on the right here is what's being included, and everything on the left can be added. So if you go through your right section, if there's something you don't want to include, all you have to do is just check mark it, and there's a remove button in the center. Make sure it's just remove, not remove all, just remove, and that's actually going to drop it to the left side. If I want to add it back in, I can type it in here, and it will find it for me. So you've got your search here. Okay, I want to find foundation. I must have misspelled it. So, to price, so we have the price. So if I want to include maybe sold price per square foot, you can. All you do is you're check marking it and adding it. Okay. When you add anything, it does drop it to the bottom of your screen. So it's going to be the very last thing it's going to show. These can be reordered in any order you would prefer to see them. So all you'd have to do is really left click and drag them. Or if you notice in the bottom and the section here in the middle, you have a move up, move down. So I can actually check mark something and just hit this move up and just click that. Or if I don't want to do it that way, I can just left click and drag it and move it wherever I want. So maybe I want that underneath above grade square footage. So again, whatever order you'd like this, as you make these changes and you hit save, it does make it a default. So next time you come in here, it will be exactly the same way. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit save, and it will reload your page for you and add in whatever field you did just include. So here's my sold price per square foot. Okay, so that's how you customize. Again, the customize button's right up here, customize fields, and then you can just check mark, add, check mark, remove if you don't want to include it. And the right side is always what's on your screen. Okay, So that is your quick view. I'm going to go back to reports. If you go back to the right side of your screen and go back down to CMA. So the second one that we want to get a summary. And again, this one I find is probably the most important. It's breaking down those numbers for you. So you can see on the CMA summary report, I'm going to try to zoom this out a little bit so you can see it better. It includes some stats at the top. It breaks down my low, my average, my median, my high. And then it gives me my active. So all my active listings are right here. And then it breaks down the numbers also on the averages. And then my sold properties are right below it. And same thing, it's going to break down my numbers for me with my solds. And then my pending. Just like the quick view, you can customize this. So if there's something here that's not showing up that you need, let's get it added. If there's a field here that you really could care less about or don't feel it's important for your client, we can remove it. The same steps as the other one. We're going to go to customize at the top here, customize fields. So customize fields. And the difference with this one is you're going to actually customize each section. So if you look at the top here where it says listing, I have active. If you select that drop-down menu, I have sold, pending, and whatever other statuses I may have selected. So if I go to my active, this is what's being included here on the right side of my screen. If I want to add something different, you can type it in your search button. You can always scroll through this, but there's quite a bit, so it'll take you a while to get through it all. So I find it's easier just to type it in, and then it should find it for you. And again, to add or remove, check mark them, add, remove, whichever way you need to go. When you're done with your actives, we want to make sure that your solds have the information that you want to include. You should have a little bit more in there, as far as, sold price per square foot and so forth, closing date and things like that. So if you're missing something here, again, just go ahead and type it in here. See if everything pops up. So if I want to include my sold price per square foot, I can include that. Add, drops it in. Again, you can drag that up and down. It looks like I have it in here, so now I don't need it. So I'm going to go ahead and check mark it, remove. Okay, same steps. Same thing with status for pending. If you need to make adjustments, do the same. Just like I told you with a quick view, if you make these changes and hit save, it does keep it as a default, so you won't have to do this again. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just hit cancel because I didn't make changes. And we should be set. So these are the two quick Paragon CMA reports that we have. Is there any questions before we get into Cloud? You can see if anyone has their hand up. If you put your hand up, I can unmute you, or if you have a question, you can also send a chat. Anything? Looks like Joy. Joy, I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Joy, you just have to unmute yourself. You'll just have to hit unmute. There you go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
And my dog too, I'm sorry. So I'm looking at your view here and it shows like all of them that was in the list. So this is something that you would show the client or not? I mean, I see that the ones that you have clicked, okay, for the two actives that you were actually going to use for the CMA, and then the ones that have the clicks, the check marks on the side for the sold. This screen here that you're sharing with us shows everything that was when you did your first search, correct? I'm not.
Yeah, Lisa, we're not hearing you.
Oops, it's in the top left. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. There's a show checked button. So if you show checked, it should reload it. It's just your show checked, and it's not doing it today. Looks like it's freezing on me. Does everybody see the show checked button? Go ahead and click that. Joy, do you see it? Right here in the top left. I'm not sure why mine's not loading with just show checked. Joy, is yours loading if you click show checked? Because it should be removing everything that's not. And I might have to take it back a step to remove them. Joy, were you able to do it? Or did I lose Joy? Oh, wait,
I have Paragon up too. I'll run a check.
Yeah, see why it's not on, because you should be able to do it right from any screen. I don't know why it's not letting my just checked
Well,
And
now
keep telling
remember,
me
they did a Paragon update last night, so let's
okay.
hope that it didn't break something for us.
No, I hope not. I hope not.
Oh, yeah.
Joy, if you're still there, I see your hand still up. If you unmute yourself, I can hear you for a second. I just want to see if everyone else is working with their show checked. If not, we'll take it back.
I'm not in Paragon. I'm just watching right now.
Okay, no problem.
But I noticed that, and I was like, that doesn't make sense why it would have the entire list when you're just going by these sold ones and these pended and these active. So that's why I was curious.
Yeah, it's a show check button. Now, when I go to Cloud, I don't need to click that show check button. So I can just check mark them, and then I will be able to select just those. But this showed the whole report. So I'm not sure, again, why it's not pulling just my check properties. So, Deb, were you able to?
Yeah. On mine, it is working fine. So
okay, so it's my computer. I'm sorry. So it should, when you hit show check, that will remove everything that you don't want to include. Just everything check mark should show. If you want to go back, you have to show all right next to it. Okay, so you should have no problem. So I apologize. Yeah, I should have showed that on the screen before. I thought I could just do it here and it would be a problem. So my screen is not cooperating here, my computer. So I apologize. So again, check mark them, show checked. You can do it from this screen. You should be able to do it with this screen. If anyone else has a problem with it, let me know. Or you can go back a step. If I hit back to my spreadsheet view, let's see if it removes them for me there. Should be able to get back. Get back to my favorites here. From here, let's see if I can get rid of all. Show checked. There it goes. So it's allowing me to do it from my spreadsheet. So if you have a problem, you can go back a step to your spreadsheet and you should be able to hit show checked. So again, I apologize. My computer's not working correctly today. So we're going to go back to the spreadsheet view anyways. So if everyone is good with questions, if there's anything else, I can answer it real quick before I get you into Cloud. Is everybody good right now? At this point, is there any chat questions, Deb? Did I miss anything?
I don't have any chat questions. Joy was very thankful on that one.
All right. Thank you, Joy, for asking questions and bringing that to my attention. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started in Cloud. So what we're going to do is actually go back to the spreadsheet view. And if you're not sure how to get back there, select your reports and you want to just select your spreadsheet, which should be on the top of your reports. I'll take you back to your one-line report. And again, here you do not have to select checked. You can keep all open, but this will toggle back and forth for you. The main thing is that you've check marked whatever you want to include in your report. Okay, so to get us into Cloud, now Cloud has a way that you can search for comps in there, but don't use that. It's a quick search. It doesn't give you a lot of options to modify your search to all the criteria that you want. It gives you some options, but very little. So I find that I'm spending more time going through those properties and figuring out which ones I want and removing a lot that I don't want. We are coming into Paragon, finding my results, selecting them. I can take them right in. So if you look at the top of your screen, again, toward the middle section here, there's an action button. That action button is actually going to pull every one of those listings you have selected and take them into Cloud for you. If you go down to the very bottom, it should say Cloud CMA CMA. So again, check mark what listings you want, action, Cloud CMA CMA. And what that's going to do is actually take it into Cloud and start my CMA report for me. And there is, again, a handout for this, so you should be able to walk through this later on. All right, so at the top here, we're going to go through the first section. There's 4 tabs: Criteria, Listings, Customize, and Publish. We're starting off in our Criteria tab. First thing is you're going to have to name it. So you want to name it for your client, so that way you know which report is which. So since this is a class, I'm going to put on here class report, so I don't think it's one of my actual CMAs. And to the right of that, you can put notes in here. Again, this is just information for yourself. But to the right, you have subject property. We want to put in the property address here. And as you're typing it, it will find it for you. I'm going to put in my 37229 Castleton. And you can see it pulled up. It's the first one right here, Sterling Heights. So I'm going to click on that. And as you pull it, it should find some of the criteria for you. So it is pulling from tax records. So it gives me my square footage, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, and it's residential. If you go down a little bit further, it says advanced info. If you click on advanced info, that's going to pull a little bit more criteria for you. So you can take a look and see what you have in here. So I have year built, lot size, and we've got 2-car garage. I'm going to go ahead and add style, which is ranch. I'm going to just type in ranch. You can add in anything that's missing at this point. Area Sterling Heights. Okay, and if you have a photo, this is where you can add your photo. If you don't add a photo, it does give you an aerial view of the property. So there will be something there, it won't be just link. But I do have a photo. Let me see if I can find mine. You would just click on this and locate it on your computer. Okay.
Hey,
So
oh, there you go. Let's say you went quiet again there, Lisa.
Yep, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yep.
I don't know if my phone's cutting out here. Okay, so I'm going to actually crop this. Once it adds it, I should be able to crop it. And in the bottom here, you've got a crop button. You click crop, and it'll drop your photo in. If you get a call for a listing presentation, you can always drive by the house and take a quick picture. Or if you go to tax records, you should be able to find the photos there. Sometimes they're much older, but this is an older photo actually from Castleton, so I'm just going to use it for now. Okay, so if you go down a little bit further, you're going to see the listing MLS numbers here on the left. Those are the ones we selected in Paragon, so it pulls them right in. If you get to this point and realize you missed a listing, it's not a problem. You don't have to go back. I can just type in a comma and type in the listing number or copy and paste it in. If I decide that there's something here I don't want, I can actually delete it from here. But the next step, you'll actually be able to see the listings, so you can also remove them at that point. If you look to the right, this is your quick and dirty. This is a search we talked about earlier. Again, this is going to pull quite a bit of information. You get sometimes expired. It gives you a little bit of more criteria to add in, but I find I like going from Paragon, so I have my exact matches, and I can just pull them in. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you have fetch listings here. And if you go back to the top, you also have it up here. So this will take you to the next step. So we're going to go ahead and click fetch listings so we can open up our listings. And it will take a minute here just to load. Okay, so first thing it's going to pull up is my map. And you're going to see all the properties pop up in here. The map can be adjusted by zoom. If you look in the bottom right corner of your map, there's a plus and minus sign. So I can zoom this out a little bit in case I'm missing properties, or if I want to get closer, I can zoom in. Go down a little bit further. You have an option here for a set price. Now, I can recommend a price at this point. I can type in, I feel the house should be listed at $195. And include that in my report. Now, if you haven't met with these people before and you're doing a listing presentation, be very careful, because I've seen this happen. I've had other agents tell me they've come in with a price in mind, put it on the report, and then the sellers get a little offended because in their mind their house is worth $20,000 more. So you could do a range, or you don't have to include it at all. Again, it's completely up to you. So if I wanted to say, you know what, between $190, I use a great list price to $200. Just so I can kind of feel out my sellers, you can do that also. If you include a price in here, you can go to this price guide and net sheet, and you can add in all of their fees and give them an approximate net out. If you don't have their mortgage balance, it's going to be a little more difficult to do. It will just give you a negative here, but it will show all their costs. It also will break down their stats here too, low, median, average, high, from what you've selected for your comps. So again, this can be used. You don't have to use it. But if you want to include a range, I'm going to leave it just so you can see where it's at in the report. It will show up. If you do a range, what it does, it's going to net out from your first number. So at 190, you can see it's down here for net to seller. If I just include one price, it's going to include that. And what happens here is you just type in the expense, so title work, and then you put in approximately the fee cost. I'm just guessing at this point, and you hit save. And you can see it's deducted $1,000 off of my net for my seller here. So it's pretty simple. If you want to remove it, you just hit the trash button. Okay. So I'm going to close this out and go down to my listings. So here's the listings that I selected. These are my comps. And you can see there's a sort option here. If you look here, by default, it's set up, it looks like it just pulled whatever order I had. But if I go down to manual, I can put it in any order I want by dragging them up and down. That's typically how I do it. But you can sort it by any one of these options. So you can go by sold price, sold date, whatever you'd like. Status is always a great way to go too, because I do like to keep my statuses together. But I do like to go low to high. So what I do is I'm going to go to manual, and I'm going to drag these in the order I want. So I've got my active, my pending. So we'll do my 179 first, I've got my 196 and my 185. And you're just left click, drag them up. It's easy to move up and down. And then you should have the order that you like. So here's my order. Here's my pending property, and I'm going to show my active. To the right of that, you can see everything is check marked. If you uncheck it, it becomes clouding and will not be included. So if you get to this point and realize, you know what, I don't want to include this close, it's not a good property, I can just uncheck it. If you want to double check the information about the property and photos, you still can right from here. You've got details and adjustment underneath that check mark. You can open that up. It will show your photos. You can arrow through them. You can see all your interior photos. You can read your information about the property. You can read the description, which is your public remarks, all the features. And at the bottom, you have an option to make adjustments to price. If your comps are not really good comps for your property and you need to make some type of price adjustment, it can be done here. But be careful, because it will skew your numbers here. So if any changes you make with adjustments, we'll make adjustments on your low, median, average, and high.
Hey, Lisa.
Yeah.
I totally missed a question from Tom Zabursky. Sorry, I was composing an email to one of my instructors. He asked, how do you get the photograph on that first section of your Cloud CMA?
Oh, okay. So let me go back a step real quick. I'm going to go back to the top here. So you can see my tabs are here. So if you ever have to go back a step, it's not a problem. You just click on your tab. So I'm going to go back to criteria, Tom, so I can get that, show you again how I did that. So where it says photo here, you're actually just clicking inside the box, and it should, I'm going to hit change because I already have a photo in here. It's going to search your computer for that photo. So all I did was I started typing in my street address to find my folder for this property, and then you would find the actual photo itself. Click on it, you can double click, and it will drop it in here for you to crop it at this point. So then I'm making my adjustments on the cropping, and there's a crop button right there for you. So again, if you don't have a photo there, all you're doing is double clicking, and it's actually going to search your computer for that file. You're dropping it in and cropping it, and then you should be good to go.
And then Tom wants to be unmuted, so I am going to unmute him. He probably has a question. Here we are.
Hi, Tom.
Okay, Tom,
Hey.
you're live.
Hey, Lisa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, what I meant is, how do you grab a photo like from a listing that's already in there? You know, so if you're listing the house and you don't have any photos, is there a way to grab the photo from a prior listing?
You
Well,
can't
be
grab it
careful.
directly from here.
Say again?
Go ahead. Deb, go ahead, Deb, did you say something?
Yeah, I wanted to throw that word of caution in there. If it is another agent's photograph, it is copyrighted by that other agent. So be very careful about using somebody else's copyrighted material.
Yeah, okay.
Right. So if it's your own listing, and that's what I was going to mention because this was my listing, I can go back to Paragon, which I'm going to just show you real quick, and I can pull it from there. But you have to go back to the actual listing itself. So let me find my prior listing because it was my listing, so I can take that photo. So I'm going to go back to here, which is actually a better photo than the other one. The other one was from tax records, but I can just take this photo right from here, and I can basically save image as is basically what I'm doing. So it's not a good quality photo, but it's just for CMA report. So for this case, I would just leave this. It wouldn't be a big thing. Now, if you're doing from tax records, same thing. You can do that right click and from tax records, and you can right click and also, let's get back on the photo here for a second. Gotta go back. And you'll be able to do that save image as. You might have to go to image here, but it should give you an option, save image as. So you want to download it on your computer somewhere first, then you can upload it into Cloud.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, is there any other questions, Deb, before I go back?
No, I think Joy has an upcoming question. So she wants to know if you could add fields in the net out sheet, which I think you were about to get into, right?
If I can add, I'm sorry, I missed the question.
If you can add a field or add a line into the net out sheet.
Yes, I will go back and show that. And then I think Matt, also Matt Bale, I'm gonna unmute him. Matt, you can unmute yourself. I believe he has a question.
Okay, she already answered my question through the default on the satellite view of the map.
On the seller's net. Okay, well, I will show you right now. I'll walk back over to that. And is there any others before I go back to that tab? Okay, so if you tabbed back with me, if you are following along and you did select this, you went back to criteria, we're going to hit update listings again. So that way it takes you right back to where we were. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you on the net sheet how you can add additional fields. And just take a second here to load again. Okay, so back to this section. I'm going to go down to where my price range is. Again, price guide in that sheet is right here. And if you notice here, when I add something, so let's do transfer tax, for example, and I drop in my fee for my transfer tax, they're going to be $1,500, you hit save. Okay, when you hit save, it automatically drops another line for you. So every time you add some type of fee, it's going to continue adding those in for you, and you just hit save each time, drops in another one. So hopefully that answers your question, Matt. Is that what you were looking for?
No, the question was the satellite view on the map where it shows the subject property, pendings, and solds.
Oh, it was
Okay.
Joy who wanted the net out.
Oh, I'm sorry. So Joy, we have your net out. So hopefully Joy has that. She saw that. So again, price guide, add, and make sure you're hitting save to get the next line. For the satellite view, it should automatically pull that satellite view for you. So if you don't see it here, you should see it in your report. And if you don't, please let me know. But
Okay.
everyone should have that automatically. Yeah, we can't select a satellite view unless you upload it as a photo. So if there's something you want, if you find a satellite view you want to use, save it on your computer and you can just upload it as your photo instead of, the actual property front photo. And again, tax records should have photos for you too there if you want to use those. All right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions, Matt? Are you good? You good? Okay. Okay. So is there anything else, Deb, that I missed?
All right. Well, Joy said, thank you very much. All right. You're welcome, Joy.
Okay, perfect. And Matt, you're good. I'm going to clear your questions. It looks like everybody's good. Pam and everyone. Okay, perfect. All right, let me continue. Again, yeah, please, we'll try to keep an eye on your chats or your hand up so I can keep going. So yeah, please, any questions you have, let me know as we go. All right, so I'm going to now finish up my report by customizing your report. One other thing I want to show you real quick, add a listing. So on that first page, when we got there with all the MLS numbers, and I said, if in case you missed one, you can copy paste, you can add it here also, but not just only the MLS number. If you don't have it listed, maybe it's a for sale by owner, you can add all the information here and include it in your report. If any of you have used Realist, Realist will pull comps and Realist pulls for sale by owners. So it's a great place to go to find those for sale by owners and include them in your report. Especially if you have a property that's more north, that's more rural area. Sometimes it's really tough to find good comps in those areas. Use your for sale by owners, and you're going to fill in all the information here. You can actually add a photo too, and if you go advanced, you can add more information. So you can include quite a bit and include that in your report. This is a newer feature, which I absolutely love. So again, if you need to add something that's not showing up in the MLS, drop it in here. If you have the MLS number, drop the number in here. Okay. All right, so we are good with our listings. I'm going to go ahead and just hit cancel here. And I'm going to the next step, which is customize my report. So you have customize at the bottom. Again, at the top right, you also have it there. So go ahead and click that. Let's get you to the next step. Okay, so on this section, we're going to make the changes for what the report looks like, our theme, our layout, the font you want to use. We're going to include whatever pages you want to include. So let's start at the top here. For your theme, if you click on the theme, it's going to give you different color options. There's two different versions. There's a modern and the classic. When we first started with Cloud, it was a classic view, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. The difference is there's more headers and footers on here. They're color-coded, which you'll see right now, and you can see the first 3 pages of it. So I have the headers at the top in color, and then my footer includes my contact information, and those are also color-coded on every page. And some of the pages, again, the layout's a little different. So this is classic. If you like a modern view, I'm going to go back up to my modern. In the colors I select from my logo color. So usually I suggest, whatever your logo is, select those colors maybe to match it. Or if there's a color you'd like, just use that. And this is your modern view. So this doesn't have the header and footer. It looks like the information is a little bit more spread out. But at the bottom corner here on the left, this is my contact information in my photo. So it is included on every page also. And if you look here, it's showing you a sample of an aerial view. So that will be included on both reports. So click on this drop-down menu, find whatever color theme. If your company has included some type of a franchise, I believe there's enough charge, but they can include specific reports for your franchise. You may see in their franchise, if you select it, they might be already specific for your office with maybe the logo and so forth. But select whichever one you want. As you select it, it will show you your sample of it first, and then you can choose the theme at the bottom. So it's not going to include it until you select choose theme. So if you want to take a second and go ahead and select that, I'm going to stick with my modern, and I'm going to go back to choose theme here. Okay. And that's going to apply your theme, whatever you selected. The nice thing about this, most of these sections, as you make these changes, they are keeping them as a default. You don't have to go back in and do it again, but if you want to make a change again, you can at any time. Okay, so that's our theme. The next option is our layout. The layout is going to show you how much information, how you want things laid out with the comps that you have. So I'm going to select layout. You have 6 different reports here. So the first 3 are going to give you quite a bit of information and quite a few pages. These last 3 will reduce the number of pages in your report. So if you're trying to get something that's not as large, you want a smaller report, basic information to get them by, this 2-column comparison, 3-column comparison, and the 4-column, these are the best ones to go with. But if you want to give them as much information as possible, photo with map, 2 photos, or photo with max data are the best way to go. So go ahead and select whichever one you want to use. And again, that'll keep it as a default for you for next time. Underneath layout, you have font options. So if you want to select a different font other than the default that's set up, select font, and you can go ahead and go through these fonts. There isn't that many in here, but they're all very clean and easy to read. We used to have a ton of choices, and some of them were really off the wall and really hard to read. So you want something, because your whole report is the same font. So just make sure it's something that's going to be easy for your clients to read. 2 other things on here. You have a cover. The cover is an additional fee. So honestly, your photo usually looks really nice. You really don't need this, but if you want to try it, it does, I believe, give you a free option. I don't know how long that lasts for, but you can select any one of these covers and pay the upcharge and start using the covers that they have for you. But you can upload anything you want. So if you have a cover or something you've created, you can, in custom pages, upload that, and then you can include that in your report. All right, I'm going to X that out to go back. Then you have templates. So the template I'm going to show you in a second, because I want to actually go through our pages first, because what you can do is actually, once you have this completed with the pages you want, I can save this as a template and then just load it next time instead of adding and removing every single time. So I'm going to walk you through that right now. So if you go down a little bit further here, you've got all your pages. Some say edit, so those you can modify. Some of these, like the agent resume, you actually have to create this. So if you haven't created one, you don't want to include in your report. It's going to be blank. So to the left of agent resume, you can see a circle pops up with this minus sign. If you just select it, it actually moves it to the left side of my screen where it says additional content. And each one of these headers will have more documents in it. So depending what you want to include, you can add any of these. So I like to include all my photos because I find it's good for my clients to see interior, especially if something's been updated and theirs has not. Easier to help justify, list price. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus sign, and that's going to drop it into my report. So I just dropped it over here for more photos, all the rest. Okay. So again, you can add and remove. If you haven't created one yet, you'll want to go through, maybe add all of them, read through them, or take some time to create just a fake report. Go through the pages and see what you like and what you don't, because that'll give you a better idea of what you want in this report. But again, you can move them. You can also put it in any order that you like. So if I want to move maybe this marketing action plan toward the bottom, I can drag it down. So left click and drag them. Things like client testimonials, again, those are things that you need to add in. So I'm going to get rid of that. Maybe let's see what else I've got in here. That there's a commission distribution. Again, these are all pre-written. You can click on them. It will give you a preview, and you can decide if you want it from there. And I'm going to actually go to my template so I can show you how to modify this. So if you went in and added, removed, and so forth, at this point I can save it, or there's templates already set up for you. So go ahead and click on templates at the top. And you have an option for all, built-in, and custom. All will show everything. The built-in are ones already created for you. So if you click on those, you should have 5 of them or 6 of them in here. So you've got all pages, appraiser's report, buyer CMA, comps only, pre-listing package, and a follow-up report. So these have been adjusted so certain pages are in there that they feel would work for an appraiser or maybe for a pre-listing package. And all you would do is just click on them and it will load those for you. If I created my own and I've just now moved things around, I can hit save as template, name it. So I would name it if it's going to be for a listing, maybe it's for my buyers, we're trying to write an offer, whatever you want to name it so you know what it is, and then I can load it next time. And the way I do this is I have my custom pages here to the right, and select custom, and these are all ones that I've created and added in here. So for example, my listing package, I've got a couple different ones in here. I can go ahead and add, if I want a lot of pages, I've got a full CMA right here with 21. I can click on that. And that's now going to load those pages for me. So you can see mine has removed some of those pages that you can modify because I haven't created them. So like my resume is one of them, and it's put in the order that I like them also. So this is my full CMA that I have in here. Okay. So again, very simple to do. You just want to, templates are already preset for you. You can use the ones there, or you can add and remove by hitting the circles, add them here from here, remove them from here, change the order, whatever order you want, and then go ahead and save it as a template. And that should be it for customizing our report. So we are now going to actually view the report. One thing I do want to mention, on the left side of your screen, under this section where we've got the additional content, you are going to see a section that says Power Pack Pages. Wherever you see premium, there's a charge. So if you want to use these, they are available, but there is enough charge for it. So they've got a Power Pack and they've got Tom Ferry pages also included in here. Okay. I will be showing you how to do custom pages, so those you can add yourself to, and I'll show you the area where we'll be adding those in later. I'm going to go ahead now and publish my report. So I'm going to create it. Publish reports in the top right corner or bottom. So we'll hit Publish Report. And then we'll take a look at our reports and our options in here. Is there any questions to this report creating our CMA before I get into the report itself? Do you have anything, Debbie, that I missed?
Yep, one. So Dana Sullivan asked, how can you add your own pages? Now, I believe, is that one of the handouts? I don't know if I put that handout in there. Yes, adding PDFs. So Lisa is going to show you how to do it. Then you also have that cheat sheet in your handouts there as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Debbie. Okay, we're good then with questions. So my report's done. We're going to go ahead and take a look at it. So you can see here the name of the report, property address is on there. In the bottom, you have an option of view PDF and view a slideshow. PDF is going to give me all my pages. I'm going to go ahead and select that. It should download it to your computer. You can see mine is actually downloading right now. It's a large report, it's 31 megabytes. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I did include all the photos. I had quite a few additional pages in there, so it's going to be quite large. And did I open it? There it goes. Okay, so this is my report. I'm zooming a little bit here for you. So you can see the photo I added here. Again, if you didn't add a photo, your aerial view should be right here. And then here's my information. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here to show you in the bottom left corner, my contact information is on every page. So if you use the modern, this is the modern view. If you use the classic, you'll have those headers and footers at the bottom will have your information. So I'm going to kind of scroll through this pretty quick because I've got 70 pages. So contact me page, my map. And then after I get through all the stats here, it starts off with my first listing. So I included my photo. I did maximum data, so there's a lot of information. My next page is photos. It includes the first dozen, but you can also include the next dozen, which I did. And then if you scroll down more photos, I included everything. So again, that's why mine is so large. So if you want to include the first 12, you can. That will reduce the size of your report. So I'm going to kind of scroll through these pretty quick because I have quite a few comps in here.
And while you're showing them that, so it was Joy did ask, do you usually put a range for the dollar in there, or because I know you'd mentioned it before, so can you go ahead and reiterate what your thoughts are on putting a price on a CMA?
So here's the situation again. If this is a listing presentation that you know you're getting this listing and you want to be honest with your client, put in either the range or the actual price that you feel. I feel a range is a little bit better again because it can be, appraisers, you don't know which way they're going to go either way too. So you never know what you're going to get. So we're trying to estimate an idea of what is a good list price that also the property is going to appraise if it sells. If you're going to a listing presentation and you're going up against other agents, be very careful with those ranges or even the price itself, because again, some of these sellers already in their mind have a price. And if you come in way too low, they sometimes feel a little upset. So you don't want to lose the listing either. So sometimes going in and not having anything in there and then feeling them out as you go and you're going through the report might be a better way to go. And then you can say, well, my thoughts are we would go, within this price range, or this would be a good starting point for you, and then see how they feel about it. But I feel it really depends on the client. Okay, so then you've got some more stats, and then here are some of my pre-written pages, my marketing action plan, commission, why you need a professional. So again, there's a lot of information when you have time to sit and go through them, see what you like, see what you don't, to remove them that you don't want to include, and then we can add some custom pages in there too. So this is my full-blown PDF, 70 pages. I usually don't like to sit with my client and go through this because there's a lot. So what I prefer to do is the other view, which if you opened a PDF, if you go down to the bottom of your screen, you should have your Cloud CMA still open down there somewhere. Minimize it. I want to go to my slideshow. Slideshow works great with the iPad, or with, if you've got a tablet, you can swipe through. I'm going to walk through on the computer. You can do it on your computer also. But let's take a look at this. This I find is a much easier way to sit with my client and take a look at the comps that I've selected, their interior photos, and make a selection from there. So it gives you just a byline with the property address. It doesn't give a photo on here. If you look in the bottom right corner, I've got an arrow and a house. So I've got an arrow to the right. If I click the arrow to the right, first page is going to be my contact information. And then if I go to the right again, it gives me my comps. And then it's going to give me a byline for my sold homes. And if you look in the arrow on the bottom right here, there's an arrow down. So if you've got your tablet or your iPad, you're swiping, so you can swipe up and down to go through this. If I hit that down arrow, it just gives a quick byline about sold homes. And then if I hit the arrow to the right again, here's my first property. If you notice, there isn't a lot of information. It gives property address, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, square footage. And in the right side, I've got what it closed for, it's closed property, and the date it closed. If I go to the bottom right corner again where my house is, I now have an down. If I arrow down, here's my photos. Arrow down again, more photos, arrow down again. So I can actually sit and go through each one of these properties and look at the interior photos without going through a 70-page report. I find it's a nicer way to sit and go through this with your clients. And otherwise, you're fiddling through all these pages, and you probably don't want to sit and read, through the curb appeal with them. I mean, those are things that you might want them to read, but I can send it to them. So as I go through these, I'm going to get through my properties. You just keep hitting the arrow. And again, if I want to look at the photos, just arrow down at any time, and you can take a look at your interior photos. And I'm going to kind of swipe through this pretty quick here, just so we're getting, I know it's 11 o'clock, so I'm sorry, I'm running a lot of time. So I'm going to try to get you through everything pretty quick here. As I get through the last of these, you can see now it gets into statistics. It breaks down my numbers, gives me my analysis. Here is that list price. So if you did include it, there is a PDF of it, which I don't have it in my report. When I did the PDF, I removed it. But it does include it in your PDF if you include that section, and it also will always be in your slideshow if you filled it out. If you didn't fill it out, it won't be in here. And then my next steps, and a thank you. If you look at the top here, I can click on here and download that PDF and still look at it with my client right from here, or I can just add in their email address and send it to them. or you can send it to them before. Again, it's up to you, however way you'd like to handle it, but you can still include that full report, but sit with them and actually go through the slideshow. Okay, so again, to get to this, I'm going to go back down to the bottom of my screen. My CMA, my Cloud CMA here is minimized, and I've got, instead of view PDF, view slideshow. Okay, to the right of that, edit. If I want to make any changes to this report, when you click on edit, it's going to take you back to your 4 steps. Starts off at section 1 with your criteria. Make whatever change you need to, and then you'll have to update your listings. If I want to just go to maybe the customize section and I want to add in that suggested list price, I don't have to do anything here other than click on the tab itself to customize. I can bypass the others, and I can go here to where I was missing it, and now I can add in my, let's see if I have it underneath mine and figure out which one it's under. Underneath one of these, there it is, should be closing, no, analysis, here it is. Suggested list price, seller's net sheet. So now I can add those back in, put them in whatever order I want, shift them around. I might want that down toward the bottom after they read all the rest, and include that also in my report. If you make changes at all, make sure you publish the report again. So any one of these sections, if you make a change, you have to click on the button and walk through the steps. If I just go to customize, I can make the change, hit publish, and it will save any change that I made. If you don't republish it, it won't save those changes. So make sure you do that. Okay. I'm going to go back to just hit CMA, take me back to my reports right from here. Okay. To the right of where your name of your report is and the property address, you have these 3 dots. You click on 3 dots. You've got an option to copy the links for the PDF or the slideshow. And the reason you might want to copy them is to email them directly from your email to your client. I prefer to do them from there just because I can see that it's sent. If you do it from here, you can, but you might want to include yourself to make sure it went through. But all you're doing is you're copying that link and then just copy and paste it into the email message you're sending them. If I want to email it from here, you select email report, include their email address, and again, you might want to include yourself, subjects, whatever you want to include in there, and then the link is right here. You want to give them a link and not attach that PDF. If you remember, my PDF was 31 megabytes. It's not going to attach to any email message unless I do like a Google Drive to them. So if you send them the link, they click on it and it will download the PDF, or at the bottom here, I can include slideshow and include both of them, and they can click on either one and open up either one from here. And then I can email them that report. So again, to get to this, it was just those 3 dots to the right here, and you can copy the links or email directly from here. I can delete the report right from here. Homebeat, we haven't gotten into this yet. This is something that they're looking into. It should be coming, so we haven't really worked with this much, but it'll be something we'll have more information on later. Okay, so that is everything with sending those reports and creating and editing. Any questions to this point before I show you how to customize those pages and where your setting information is?
No, we are all good. I wanted to give a special shout out to our vendored MLSs. We've got the Southeastern Border MLS is attending today. We've got a couple ladies from there. We also have members from our East Central Association of Realtors, their MLS, and also a guest on here today. So we are very thankful for all of our members and extended members joining us today.
Oh, that's great. Wonderful. Well, hopefully everyone got a lot from this. And those handouts, again, we'll walk you through. If any of you don't have the handouts at the end, I'll have another chance for you to ask some questions and let me know. We'll make sure we get those to you. And they're also in Paragon. If you go into Paragon under MLS documents in the top right corner, we actually have every one of our handouts. We write these as we go, try to do them as the same way that we're teaching the class. There should be screenshots. They're really simple to follow, so this should help you too. Okay, let's take a look at custom pages real quick and where you can adjust any of your information in case it's incorrect or your photo. If we just need to get you back to the Cloud CMA. So if it minimized it all, again, bottom of your screen, you should have it. And we're going to go to your photo, or it should have your initials if you don't have your photo in there. It's in the top right corner of your screen. And when you select this, you have an option to do your account settings, the very first one. And the first section is actually all of your information. So we want to make sure that your information is correct and the photo is the one that you'd like in here. This change avatar will allow you to select any photo from your actual computer. So make sure your photo's on there and you can just upload whatever you'd like on there. and make sure this information is correct. You can add your company logo also. If you click on here, same thing will allow you to search your computer, and you can add your logo. Make sure you hit save after you're done so you can save your changes. And then if you look on the left side of our screen, there's also contact info. This is your information that is stamped on every page, basically. So if you did the modern view in the bottom left corner, if you did the classic view, it's in that footer, in the colored footer. So if you want to see what's being included, it's in here. And again, that's just contact info and under my photo here under account settings. And anything here that's incorrect, you can hit the trash button and get rid of it. And then you can add it, the correct one, or whatever else you want to include. This drop-down menu here says select a method, and then I can drop in if I want to include my office phone number, office address, maybe I want my Facebook URL. I can include any of this here. You just type it in and hit add, and that will include those in your contact information as well. So you have a contact me page, and then you've got your footer or your bottom of your pages that will include all this information for you. The last thing is custom pages. So if you go to the left of your screen again, select custom pages, and this is where you can create your own from scratch, name it, hit add, it will give you a blank page and you can type in or copy and paste. You can also adjust the ones that are already set up for you. There's certain custom pages in there, which is your resume, testimonials, cover letter, your marketing action plan, and our company, I believe. Those are all ones that are included. And then these are ones that I've already created in here. You can always come back and make adjustments to those. But again, if you don't make adjustments or add something to these, like your resume, if you don't copy and paste it in, mine I just threw in a couple lines, you won't have anything here. So don't include them in your report if you haven't modified them yet. I can upload anything I'd like for custom PDF pages here. So you can include anything that you like for your presentations, maybe something you created, something you have through your office, whatever you want to include, market stats. These can be uploaded here. And when you're actually going through that section where you customize and add in those pages, it will be included. There's a box at the bottom for custom pages. You select it and drops it in. So you can include in any reports that you want. If you're doing stats, you might want to do these on a regular basis where you're removing the old ones, you know, every month, and include maybe for a county, you can do Macomb County or Oakland County and upload those, and then maybe every month come back in and change it to the new one. So that way you can keep including the newest one and you have updated information. Okay. So again, upload PDF, all you're doing is clicking on it, and it will allow you to search your computer for the PDF. And that's it. So that's how you can come in and make the changes. Again, all of this information under your photo here. If you have initials there, once you change your avatar and add your photo, will show your photo. Account settings, it actually gives you a section right to custom pages right from there too. But all these are right here, your folders. Please, please, please do not change your password. If you do, you'll have a problem getting in. It is single sign-on. You're signing into Paragon, takes you right into Cloud. You don't have to fill in a sign-on again. So we want to make sure we keep those set up that way for you. Okay, so I think I've covered everything. Did I miss anything, Debbie, or any questions at this point?
You got a lot covered. That's great. And no more questions, right?
No more questions.
Yep, nothing coming in.
Okay, so we are basically set. So again, the handouts should be on the right side of your screen. So you can click on those and download them to your computer. If you don't have them, if you can't find them, please, you can either chat and send a message to Debbie with your email address. We'll make sure we email them to you. You also have an option to go right into Paragon and pull every one of these pages we've created. If you go back to your Paragon page, if you look in the top right corner, you've got MLS documents. This MLS documents will take you into our folder for education. It says MIRS education. We have 69 handouts in there. And the nice thing about them is we break them down by sections. So if you want something specific from Paragon, it will show you how to add your contact. Or if you want something specific in Cloud, it will show you in Cloud how to add those PDFs. We've got the full version of the handout, lead generations in here. And all you do is click and open them, their PDFs. They'll download it for you and it'll walk you through your steps. So I think we are all set. I hope this was helpful. I know there was quite a bit, and I prefer to see you all in classes, but for right now, while we're stuck at home, hopefully this is helping you with anything here in Paragon or any of the other sites that we have, become more efficient on it. So when spring market hits and we're back out there, you're ready to go. If there's any questions at all, please let us know right now. You can put your hand up. I can unmute everybody if you want to ask a question. So if I did unmute, so just unmute yourself and you are welcome to ask any question at this point.
I do have a question.
Yes. Yep, I can hear you. Go ahead. Oh, is everybody unmuted, Deb? I thought I unmuted everyone.
They're all still showing muted on my side. There we go.
Oh, there we go.
Boy.
Uh-oh, we get a little bit of a here. You know what? Let me mute everybody and then just put your hand up and we will unmute you so there's no echo. Okay, so I'm not sure who was about to ask the question. Whoever it is, if you just put your hand up, I'm going to click on you, unmute you. Is it Dana, maybe? Looks like Dana has. Dana, did you have a question? I did unmute you. Nope. Joy? Joy, was that you? I'm sorry.
It was me.
Okay, sorry.
So you're searching properties on your main screen. Can you go back there?
Yeah. Yep, in Paragon.
Criteria. Yes, criteria.
Okay.
And when you go into, say, area municipality, I noticed that there is, okay, the numbers on the side. So I think it's Shelby Township that has two different numbers.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
How do you know
actually,
which one to put?
Perfect. Great question. So what we have is county codes. So anything with a 50 is Macomb County. Obviously, this Shelby Township and this Shelby is not. Anything that starts with, I believe, is 63. Let me go to Troy. I believe it's 63. Yep. 63 is Oakland County. So you want to look for those first two numbers, and that will give you the correct location. But yeah, Shelby's got 3 different locations, so you want to make sure. If not, it's somewhere up north. There's another Shelby.
So you want to make sure that you hit the second number for the township exactly, and not the county. The first one would be the county. The second one would be the township, correct?
So the first one is the county, and then the full number is the actual location. So whatever name of the township or city it is. So for example, if I want things that are only in Macomb County, and I come into my area here, if I select 50, and I put begins with, and then I hit 50, it should give me everything in Macomb County only. So that's probably the easiest way. If you're looking at a specific county, I would just go begins with, type in the county code, which I can show you where to find those. And then it's now going to remove everything except what's in Macomb County. And now I can just go ahead and check mark whatever I want to include from Macomb County. So does that answer your question? Will that help?
I think I got it.
You got it. So for example, what county are you looking at, Joy? Which one are you trying to find?
I live in Genesee right now, so
okay.
but I noticed it like when I was playing around with it, the different numbers, and I'm like, well, how do you know which ones to actually pick? So what I just said is the first one, the 50, would be the county, correct?
Correct.
And then the second one would be the township. So put Shelby back in there, please.
Yeah. I'm sorry, which one? Shelby?
Shelby Township.
Yeah.
So the first one, the 50, would be the county.
Right.
And the second one would be the township itself.
Correct. So that's the number that they're using for Shelby Township. So the 50 is the county, 007 is Shelby Township. But now if you look at Shelby, the other Shelbys, they don't end with 007. So it's not going to be the same last 3 numbers for the other cities. No, it's going to be different. Each one of these have their specific number. So it's not going to match it. Even if there's 3 Shelbys, they're not going to be like 64007, type thing, or 64, so it's not going to, you're going to see all different numbers on each one of these. Really, the only number you really should worry about is those first 2 numbers. As long as the name is the same, just look for that county. So if you see 50, you've got the correct township in Macomb County. So does that make sense? Does that help? Because I know these, you're thinking these numbers are, because they're not going to coincide. So if there's multiple Troy, for example, they're not going to have the same 3 digits at the end and with a different county code in the beginning. So here's Troy, this is Oakland County, 62, I'm not sure which county that is, but there's a Troy Township out there. But you can see the numbers are completely different. There are 3 numbers, is 202, this one's 023. So really the county is going to be the best way to be able to find the area that you want without pulling other locations that aren't on the correct county. The county is the way I would go. Now, if you go to your counties, you can look at those numbers right up here. So here's my magnifier for county. This is the easiest way to see those 2 numbers. So this is what you're looking for. So depending on the location, Macomb, Oakland, Wayne, Genesee, I mean, you're looking for those 2 digits in the beginning of any area. Does that answer your question, Joy?
I think so. It's a little gray, but I think I got it.
Okay. I'll shoot you an email, and then if there's any other questions, you are free to contact me, and I'm happy to answer or walk you through it.
There is one last trick that Lisa taught me. So if you actually add in Genesee into the county field,
right,
then only your municipalities in Genesee County will show up under your municipality field.
Yep, that's the other way. Yep, you can do it. You do sometimes get some, I find happens. Sometimes you get some that get thrown in there that are not. So that's the only way. That's why I used to do it the other way. You do sometimes get a few in there. Sometimes it's really good, but sometimes it does. That's why I mentioned if you go right directly to the area municipality and just do begins with and type in that county code. So if I did Genesee to 25 right here, then it's going to give them. It shouldn't hopefully drop anything else in here other than Genesee County. Yeah, see, it didn't include. Sometimes you get a couple stragglers that get in there. I'm not sure why it does that, so that's why I kind of reverted to this way instead. Okay. Is there any? Let's see. Any other questions? Did we get Dana's question? Deb, I see Dana's got a question mark. And actually, and Matt, we also do. Okay, what about Matt? Let me unmute. Matt, are you still there?
Hello. Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, what can I answer for you?
I'm still here, Lisa. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, no problem. Did you have a question?
No, no questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I just saw your hand up. Want to make sure. Okay, anything else? Is there any other questions or anyone wants to send a chat? If there's more, if you need help with anything else, if you send a chat, like I said, I'm more than happy to email you and contact me. Call or text if you're stuck on anything, but we are happy to answer any questions or help you out at this point. And you can come to these classes as often as you want. So I'm hoping I can see you more. Thank you for coming to this. And if there's anything else, please let us know. I'm still on the line for a few more minutes. Otherwise, everyone have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Deb, is there anything else? Are we good?
We are looking good.
Okay.
Thanks, Joy. You as well.
Okay, perfect. Okay, all right. Well, we are going to log off again. You're welcome to contact us. We're happy to help. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you for coming. Bye, Deb. Have a good one.
Bye, Lisa. You too.